Warm blessings, everyone. Come on in, and today we're gonna have a couple things to talk about. Don't know if you guys can see me. I'm trying to navigate here. Warm blessings. Ask questions, share this video, go like. Some things that I always like people to do is to support me when I give these free talks. And also today we'll be doing a free dream interpretation, spirit messages to free card pulls, always as I do. And I have certain different cards here with me today, and we are just going to be doing all these great things to get you guys going. Some of you guys are on your journey, and some of you are just kind of curious at first here, and you want to get more comfortable and more trusting of your journey, of your guides. And so you're just kind of, dabbling around to see what can fit you, and that's perfectly fine. If you guys haven't already, go into the my healing drum video to see if that invigorates anything in you guys. I've got a lot of people letting me know that that's helped them a ton to open up the doors for them, to get them more comfortable, to unlimit their minds, to unlimit themselves. And it's been very interesting for them. They've also felt vibrations when they listened to that healing drum song. I shall be doing more of those hopefully in the future. And I don't want to offend anybody in any other communities or culturally in regards to different drumming with animal drums. So that's just what my guides has brought to me in that drum video. Come on in, and we're going to talk a little bit today at first in regards to Neeb Tsiab. And what does that mean for us? Okay, so Neeb Tsiab, why is it called New Age Shaman? So a ton of people had been asking these questions, and also we've been the ones that have gone in through it since the late, I would say the mid 90s. There's been various different shamans or healers that has awakened back then. And were very quiet about it because they were really afraid of people judging them, and people did judge them when they did come out. Also within the family, they got judged. So they got judged as a person to a healer. They also got judged in the fact that they were practicing shamanism a whole new different way, or maybe just partially a different way. We see that now with different people. When they see different shamans practicing different ways, or maybe they have different restrictions, they are being shunned out of their family. Their relatives are really shunning them away and saying, oh, có cho tớ có ôn nén tớ lời cho tớ rồi có cho nén chỉ chuyện nén bỏ. Thì lời những hại đi non don đâu rồi, they say this type of thing. They judge the person, they judge that person's family, and they call it so I've seen that with myself personally. I've seen that with various elders as well that has had their awakening of or their shamanic spirit guides has awakened them back in the mid, I would say even late 80s. It all kind of started this new wave of shamans or new wave of healers. And they've been coming ever since. There's also been this new wave of different types of healing ways coming to different, or I would say coming to humanity within the last decade, or 2 decades or 3 decades ago, back even as far as the 70s. So there has been so much talk of different shamans and different healers, and are is that person psychic? Do they have psychic abilities if they are a shaman? And I want to answer all of this for you guys today. Okay, so Neeb Tsiab meaning new age shaman or new age healers. Okay, so Neeb Tsiab is the way of the new, the way of the, just like new technology that we have. You've got the old computers that were so huge and monitor wise, and now you've got thin screen computers. Spirit guidance and spirit guides they work in just the same way. They are so parallel to this known waking life, and they come in a way where they know better than you as a human being. They are ones that have lived many lifetimes ago, and they are ones that have experienced so many lifetimes, so many things in the experience of being a spirit guide, right? They themselves have also maybe lived as a human being on Earth, and they've also experienced different situations in life, and maybe has also, for some of them, gone up to the high heavens and now has become a spirit guide. The new talk is, how come spirit guides are called Neeb Tsiab? So why are they called these new age shamans? They're called the new age shamans because there's a new wave of technology, okay, of downloads that have come to these shamans. And there has been a reawakening of new technology, new downloads, new knowledge that it's a very ancient knowledge, but it only seems new to this day, and in this day and age, because it has come back, it has returned. And so these new age shamans are actually downloading ancient knowledge that has come back. I being one of them. And so I can't speak for anybody else, but I can only speak from my experience. And you can know that this channel is going to inform you of what is correct, of the what has not been correct, and of the what has been talked and maybe has been dabbling in. Some people has been, wondering what is about, or they've guessed what it's about. But all the things that I'm talking about and on this channel is channeled in information, okay? Specifically channeled in information from higher source, up in the higher realms or dimensions that we can even know of and even comprehend of to this day. So the new age shamans are coming about, and they've been coming about since even as far back as the late 70s, or I would say not the late 70s, early 70s, late 60s, when everything started to come out greater. Now, before that time, there has been different ones that has come out, but they've been very quiet about their journeys and their experiences. And for those that hasn't been, and they've come out about it, they have been shunned down, they have been judged, they have been, very negative things has been happening to them. They've come out as leaders, they've come out as people who can lead the way, people who can maybe come up with new, like the new alphabet for Hmong people, right? Or this is specifically for the Hmong culture, right? That I'm talking about. People that has been taken away just because others has known that they have this certain specialty or this gift with them. And in this lifetime, if we don't speak of what we know, it is very hard to change a humanity, right? It's hard to change people and the way they think. So there's going to be some of us that are drawn to, that have been called to speak. And for some of us that aren't drawn to speak, then you're going to, do what you need to do in your lives. But for some of us, me being one of them, I am called to speak. So I will be speaking on these type of topics. And these can be very touchy or very sensitive topics, especially to people who has kept quiet about it because they are afraid that they're going to be judged, because they are afraid that other people won't accept them in their families, even, right? Or in their relatives, with the people that surround them. Where are they going to go? How are they going to deal with it, right? With all the negativity, with all this biasness, right? I have seen the experiences of some that has awakened, right? Some healers, some shamans that has awakened back in the late 80s, mid to mid 90s, that have awakened to their spiritual journeys. And they have had very similar experiences to all the ones that are now, that just are massively awakening as well. And even the young ones that are awakening, right? They come to different ages. And I just know that through those journeys, I have seen so many shunning, so much people judging one another, also judging from old shaman ways to new shaman ways, judging from the way you do things to the way he does things, and it's different, or she, right? And that it's different for that person, so it's unknown, so then they fear it a lot. Until just more recently, when the persons that were the ones that were judging in those days, in those times, back then, right? Back 20 years ago, 30 years ago, that were judging this type of person, they are now just starting to awaken after 20, 30 years to this type of healing, to this type of new age way of thinking, new age shaman, right? And so now that they started to experience this, these certain ones are just, it's like way open to it, right? They're just becoming way open to it, which is a good thing, right? And now they can, after 20 to 30 years of judging people, the people that they knew that were awakened at that time and they haven't been, they start to now preach and talk about how great it is this journey is, how great it is this spiritual journey is, to get in touch with spirit guides, right? To get in touch with the universe, to get downloads, to get these new information that is very ancient, right? And to themselves, and that it's been an experience for them, right? And it's awesome, it's phenomenal. So the moral of the story is, do not judge and do not be so biased, because one day you just never know if you're going to be the next one to be chosen or to be called to take on that journey, right? To be the next wave, so that you can also preach of what you experienced in your life where you didn't believe something at all, or you shun someone out because they had restrictions on what they can and cannot eat, right? Different meats. Some can eat pork, some can't. Some can eat deer, some can't, right? So there's all these restrictions, right? Catch my breath. There's all these restrictions because I'm so passionate in this topic. It's like the world that I grew up in. I didn't know any difference of who was a shaman, who wasn't. This is the world that I grew up in as a child, the shamanistic world. And for me, growing up in this world, I just thought it was a normal thing that everybody practiced this, right? That's me being closed in my own world, right? Now, I also, after the age of 2, knowing so many things like Jesus, like angels and things like that, that came to me during those times, and opening up to my journey when I was called to do my journey, to do my purpose, is to inform people and to correct things that are not in its correctness. Why do we need to know New Age shaman? Why do we need to know what this means to us as a humankind, as human beings? Why is it important for us to accept our journey and to be able to run the journey more normally, right? Most people come to me and they say, hey, Master Shaman Palai Chi, you know, I didn't accept my spirit guides because I just want to live a normal life. There's a handful of people that has come to me throughout my healing journey, the healer journey, that I have met along the way that have said that. And I said, you know, I was in your shoes at one point, and I know how that feels. I was in your shoes when I didn't accept my journey, even from the age of 2. I thought it was a normal thing for me, but I still didn't accept my shaman journey when I was called to become one. When my grandmother said, oh, you know, there's one day that you're going to be using chickens. Or my mother would say, oh, there's one day where you're going to be using, you know, different animals for your healing. And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to be using animals, right? I'm messing with my cards here. I'm not going to be using animals. I'm going to be using different things. And I said that, and I sort of rebelled on that. And you know, to this day, I am using other things and not live animals for my shamanic healing. There will be one-offs that are very, very needed that I will do that. But coming back to the new shaman, new age, or these Ningxia, this meaning is very uh, it's new because it's new technology. We are just like new computers being downloaded with new technology, and we're being updated every so often, right? It's like a cycle that's being updated, just like your phones, just like, you know, uh, whatever software out there that needs updating. We as human beings are being updated every now and then as we're getting towards a certain time or age of our being here on earth. And so with us being updated, we're going to need to be unbiased to other people. The person that's also downloading is also going to need to be unbiased as well, because they need to start accepting their journey, need to start accepting these new downloads. And sometimes these downloads are going to be the thing that paves the way to humanity. It is the thing that's going to pave our way. It's going to pave our knowing and our existence to learning more about certain plants, certain people, certain cultures, and how we are so much alike. And even our history of stories that we go and we have. How are we so much the same in how we think and how we eat and how we do in our whole different, you know, the different areas of our lives. So when someone calls me, hey, aren't you a new age shaman? I don't get offended. I basically just correct what has been incorrect and how they know how to call that name, right? So a shaman is a shaman, whether you're old type or old traditional or new age type, right? The new age shamans are going to have new downloads. They will also have old downloads. And like I said, the new downloads is actually ancient downloads that are just coming back. So remember that when you guys are going into your journey and you think and you see somebody else doing something totally different from what you saw your grandma or grandpa doing back in the days when they were doing their shaman journeying or healing, just know to yourself, it's a new download that that person got to do. Now, there could be those one types out there or some types out there that are guessing to do. So they're not really being downloaded from the universe, but they're just charlatans, right? They're just people that are just decided that they wanted to do this certain thing a certain way. So it's a preference of them. So there could be that too. But when it's a true thing, you will start to feel that inside. For example, if you go and watch my drumming, my healing drum video, I'll put that down in the link later on. But the healing drum video is going to take you, if you just close your eyes and open up your palms and listen to that, or even my other one, it's called Inatsu, which is, you know, Inatsu, okay? Um, the clear what is it word on that is inatsu, right? Inatsu is You go to that video, I'll link that down below as well. And you just basically sit there, open up your palms and relax and see what comes, right? Observe. And you'll start to feel the vibrations. You'll start to feel this higher vibration coming in, especially, and I usually say higher vibrations are felt. So you'll shake, you'll vibrate, you'll feel a deep inner connection to the universe, especially when it's real, right? You won't feel it when it's not real, that's one, or when you are closed. So when you're closed at heart, and even if the healing is real, you're not going to feel it. When the healing is not real, you're going to try to be open as much as you can, but you're not going to feel it because it's not real. So these two factors come into play. How to tell if a healing and a person is authentic and real, right? So two things, I'll repeat that. One, you're not open-hearted and you're being biased and you're not accepting the healing, even though it's as real as 100% or 120% as it can be. So it's coming and helping you, but you're not feeling it because you're closed. That's one. Two, how to tell it is the person is not doing it authentically, or they're guessing to do a healing and they're just kind of making it up as they go. And you're being as open as you can, but you're not feeling it, right? You're not feeling tingles in your body. You're not really feeling warmness in your body. You're not feeling anything, right? You're just kind of feeling kind of in the stillness too, right? But when the healing is strong, you're going to be able to tell, even if it's from across the room. And I just got that testimony the other day when I did the expo. I was doing the drumming singing at the expo, and two gals came up to me afterwards, and they were from across the expo building, right? And they came to me and they said, what were you doing over there? It sounded like you were like extracting negative energies out of this whole building. And I said, I was. And from the people as well that I felt that were judging me. And the people that I know that won't accept this because it's not Native American drumming, it's not Mongolian drumming, but it is whatever it is that I'm getting downloaded from my spirit guides. And they felt that. And they came over and said that, and one gal came over and then she wanted to do a healing with me. So we did that. It was a tremendous day in that expo about 2 weeks ago. But anyways, I just wanted you guys to understand whether you guys are for it or not for it, it doesn't matter. It is what is. And when it is what is, whether you have an opinion about it or not, it's gonna be, okay? So accepting your spirit guides and not minding if somebody calls you a new age shaman or old age shaman, right? If you were from the old or the new, it doesn't matter. You both had downloads of different knowledge from the universe. It's just that one is an older computer and the other one is a newer computer, but perhaps either one will complement each other in different ways. And for myself, specifically speaking, I have the old and the new. So I have both. And I can understand the older shamanic traditional healing standpoint. I can also understand the newer tradition, or the new age shamanic standpoint and their healing ways, right? For the other side and within all sides. So it takes one to open up your mind and very much be unbiased in order to understand and to accept both. And I can also understand other cultures' shamanic ways and other cultures' healing ways as well, because it's the downloads, the pure thought downloads that you gain and you get. To be able to be unbiased, you have to decide that, but that is also something to break through for some of you. You can also take a look at the unblock your meditation, right? If your meditation is blocked, well, it's this biasness that you have that has been blocking your meditations. And if you have the biasness within your mind, within your heart, right? Hate, jealousy, envious. Those are just some pieces to the biasness. Then you're going to be closed off, and you're not going to be able to really accept your spirit guides, if you have any at this moment in time, right? Or you're not going to be able to accept somebody else's spiritual journey if you are their partner. Or you're not going to be able to accept that person's path if you are their relative. And you're going to choose, actually, if you are the person that has this biasness, this hate that comes in, right? This dislike, this annoyance, right? This thing that you don't even know what it is, but it's so negative to you. And jealousy, envious, whatever it is, right? Greed for power. And you shut this person out, or you bag on them, so to speak, right? Or you will talk about this person in a certain way that is negative. Then you're going to be shutting everything else out that you ever wanted to be like, right? To be as in gaining downloads from the universe, or to even do yoga and be open-minded, right? Or to do Tai Chi and be open-minded, to do whatever it is, you know, that so that you can be open-minded to accepting special gifts from the universe that could come to you, right? So you're going to be very closed off, is what I'm saying. Your heart is closed. You had talked about this person in a certain way. You were biased, maybe even racist, maybe even stereotypical, whatever the negativity things that you had been doing, it needs to come down. This ego needs to come down. The envious part needs to come down. The pride needs to come down of, this is the way I know it. It's not the new way. It's not the right way. What is right, right? What is right is the question. What is right is going to be what works. What works for you? Everything has a connection. Whether you're a believer of Jesus, whether you're a believer of Buddha, whether you don't believe Guan Yin and you believe Mother Mary, it does not matter, because everything has interconnection. All the spiritual realms have interconnection. It's just the people that has to make the decision to have interconnection. And this interconnection or interconnection must be unbiased. And if it's hard for you to break free of that, and that's why I always say in all my videos, unlimit your beliefs, right? Or most of my videos, right? Wherever I do a video, it's Juju Chi, give me that Juju Chi, and unlimit your beliefs, right? So go in and unlimit your beliefs with unbiasedness. You got to start there. And these new shamans, right? Me being one of them, there's going to be the new shamans that are so to, like, they have the left and the rights, right? So you have these shamans that are awakening and been awakening for, 2-3 decades, very vigorously within the last, I guess, after the year 2000, it was so vigorous after that. And you're going to find that some new age shamans are very to the left, some are very to the right, right? So they have this new technology. It's so different. It's so not seen yet. And they are so liberal. And then there's these other new age shamans that are so partially liberal and partially still traditional, right? There's nothing wrong with each side or whatever's in the middle, right? It's what works, all right? You can repeat that with me. Write down in the comments and below or on the side there on the chat and say, it matters what works. It's what works. Type it in for me, what works. What works is going to be what is going to take us as a humankind to the next level, right? It's going to get us to where we need to be and where the universe, right, others out there, ET-wise, would prefer us as a humankind to be at a certain level. The good ones, right? The negative ones don't prefer us to be at any level, but to be enslaved. That is the truth of it, because that is what we are going towards. And if you don't believe me, continue to be where you are. And if you don't change, it is what is. Things are going to be changing right around the corner. Before you know it, you turn the corner and it's going to be a shift. Okay. So if you guys, I'm going to go and read my chats here, but comment and say Juju Chi, correcting, giving you, or sorry, informing the misinformed. Okay. Correcting what is incorrect, what's been corrupted. This is the truth, right? I will take questions later. Boo asks, will you take questions later? And I will. But I just wanted to come out and talk about the new age shaman or Nengchia. And I just want to speak to my Hmong community out there. Hmong, ni bao hạt tiền Nengchia nó ni cụ giờ nên cô Nengchia nó ni cho họ nếu mua cho chú chị chia là vì hạt tiền bây giờ cho chú chị cô nếu mua họ kể thế rồi yo chỉ xí lên đó là thì yo xí cho chú chị chia là nhưng mà nó yo tàu mua họ lúc xía có khí có tàu một dài cho chú chị chia giờ bây chỉ mua lúc xía một khí dài tàu cho chú chị chia thì bây giờ cho họ nên nhớ hôm đi tết nó bây chỉ mình ai thế rồi thì mình giàu giàu số lên số tụ giờ có giờ thế kinh bộ lý trả là có chuyện trong này thì mình giàu cho khó vì hai tiền luôn tu u sầu y mua cho hai người do cho chuyện dễ cha thế giờ cha bé ya cho nên cho bé thả thế ya bé một số một chị cho nó nên cho bé thả là chị nếu một số chi là cho bé là có bé ba cho bé tụ khen ya tiền luôn dia tế bảo lợi ya luôn dia tế nếu một tí đi trả là có bé tí tàu lên tới còn này cho số chi chia nên kỳ là cho bé liền nên chia để sao số chi cố là của yên mua thế của hai thằng phụ sư của hai tàu cho là lên là tù để chỉ cho số chi một trâu sa đi bé bỏ bé giờ bé bỏ công là là bé yên mua ta của yên mua thế chị khó nói chị để cho số chi cố là sao thua thế sao hai tiền ô cho cố là chị yếu chỉ ô hậu lử cho cố là nếu mua khó khế thế cho chia là nếu mua khó khế thế nếu ở tàu mua khó lúc xía một xí nên nó khó tư thầu tư lúc chạy nhau tư nữa do khó xí đi chả nên thì địa bao thì một xí được hoàn đầu nữa khó nói khó kế kia chân dây cho bây giờ mình nhọ nữa bị trở nên tua tận đây nó nên cho mù thua ít lần ít tu cho mù hai tiền nên dây cha là nên kinh cha là do tiền cho xí nên nó oli hai xí hài ya sa xí khí thế ya có một số một gì tới ít tu là có chia li có ô li có họ chú cái gì có sao một thua tuần đó ya để có chỉ mua lên đó có啥到lên đó là sao một nhiều chú nhiều gì vì hai tiệt có xí li tuần đó là có ya xí li tuần đó là nhiều chỉ ô họ lựa đó có rong thì có những yếu cho cá một chỗ có lúc học bảo để có chú cái gì ya có mua ya có chỉ mua là ya có chỉ tàu một cho li học của hai nó là tận đây nó tới rồi có chỉ有một học kiến thua rồi có ya có mua lúc xia ở li hai đâu hú thia lúc xia有人thua tàu là ya tiền luôn nên ya tông cả ya nó có tụi khen có ya tông cả ya học kế có thọ cho luôn tu tới rồi là ya một học khi là rồi có thia chị họ nói nu nó cũng thà cho nén chia vì đi chợ bé huồn nén chia là do họ cái hạt tiền nếu mua bé mù họ bé luôn nén để nếu tôi mua họ bảo nén dài là những bảo tí giờ li họ nếu nếu bảo được thia do hạt tiền bé chỉ mua họ bảo chỉ bé ô họ cố tạm một ly họ bé luôn nén bé ô li họ cố tạm một ly chỉ những chỉ mua họ bảo li để họ chia bé sao ô họ cố là luôn nén theo luôn chia tế thì luôn chia tế bảo bây giờ我估计对手呢有起我好了，了要去开走着可路能切了，这要被我好切死，被古莫好古把这开了，你有起我好了贴，vì hạt tiền古莫对呀更呀，你好路能但是呢贴当地呢你就要洗，就给。trâu giá lì giá ta lò bế bỏ bây giờ bế bỏ công nhà công tàu xí thiên cho cái nên chia nó tại sao nó giờ như tờ chữ xì hay để chia rồi họ bây giờ cho nhiều khoa lo bây chỉ tàu bỏ để xì ya bây bỏ công nhận giữ cho sa số tuổi cho là ya cho sa và thầu số chỉ tàu tuổi cho ya là ya tuổi cho đó ấy thầu bây chỉ mua luôn nên nên nó nhỏ rồi dùng tiết tiết tụ rồi bây li chỉ giờ li chủ chỉ ya là ya chỉ giờ li là sai số thiên nữ li nên nó lỡ lỡ cho nữ cho và nên nó nếu mấy cho ở đi hại cho cứ ti là ti lâu lần đó này sai chùa lu địa tây thia đồ sa ở này nó bên mong nhon đỡ thầu lu xí hành đỡ sinh bùa thầu u lợ khó nó chỉ cho khó người ta càng gì lo cho bé sinh bùa thầu u bé thì liều hồ tiền nên phát tỷ hóa tài nó yên nhật sinh bùa thầu lu xí hành đỡ thì người ta càng gì lo xứ người chỉ cho tiền khó chia người cú giờ thì giờ họ sinh bùa thầu u giờ bây giờ thì giờ họ cú rồi họ bé bỏ thì cho cú này chỉ hiện được bây giờ bé bỏ công giờ bé bỏ công giờ công xứ rồi họ bé bỏ bây giờ công giờ công bỏ là xứ họ thôn tới cho nữ đua to ta lớn cho suy hở đi chi tiết ta lo nó chỉ bé yên chỉ bỏ đi bây giờ chỉ bảo đi bây giờ thôn nhà thì lời cho chú chỉ là cái người lo thì bây giờ thì cho chia sẻแต่是的爹要叫生买波生炒头乌我哋係生炒頭烏呢就要生說多炒了要按地說多炒呢要即可能即比如係啲這幾呢，依家就不啦，你不大過係的，叫English 呢，係luôn講的，叫麼叫切了，估麼依家切percent，呀，叫 percent 一紅到很，叫麼叫估依家麼 percent 到，叫麼叫中間了，估麼一曬一到啲，就可能就比較麼快了，容易呢，為下啲luôn都呢那嚟下啲比活動都有少呀。ya phai thế dài cho bé sau này sự tụ li khó nọ li khó cụ thả nọ lấy dài cho cái nên dài là cho chú chi là do để cho bé hoa để information ya knowledge and information from the universe lấy dài cho trong này nọ cho bé sự số lên số tụ cái ý lên mua ý khó chỉ cho ý tụ有mua tàn thọ okay thì ý lên mua ý khóแต่是tây tụ mà nó giờ mua tàu ra tây tụ nữ họ vì họ tiền nữ lúc hút chỉ nữ nó tụ khen đỡ chỉ thế giải tỏ tàu họ ít cho mà nữ giờ mua chỉ đồng bảo nữ mua ít khóแต่是要只mua đồng đỡ chỉ cú chỉ trong thế chỉ dùng mua đồng đỡ thế thì họ nó cho nên nhai là dùng trong nó tụ nên kia là trong nó nữa chỉ còn đi bảo tàu lên đỡ ít cho chỉ cho ôn nén ôn dài chỉ lời chỉ sợ sai ý là đi chỉ đi sai thì cũng thằng nó có ai cũng sai xứ này chỉ là chỉ chơiแต่是要头 ôn nén mũ này chỉ là sai lên đó là头 ôn nén là theo lý sai bỏ là theo lý sai nó okay chỉ ý cho là chỉ cho chia nó là chỉ là do sai ý là đi sai phái đọc phái sai ý là đi sai đi có thì cũng thằng nó xứ là do sai tế là cũng mua do sai tờ là cũng mua sai xá là cũng mua sai cho ya chúa sai nửa lu nên nó phu chỉ nửa tu khen chỉ tàu thiết giải tàu họ chú chỉ là chỉ sư cho chỉ lấy dài nó mua nên tàu họ ta cho chỉ mua bao chỉ họ lên là biết giá tiền này ạ chỉ mua cổ từ họ sư mua tàu hành tàu họ thì sai lúc xí hợp tư nên nó trâu nè cho giải tàu chú chỉ thì sai nửa lò đi trả sư nếu lo thầu lúc cho sĩ hởn đó thế cho sĩ hởn đó cho sĩ hởn có yên chỉ phi sự cho nếu lo lúc sĩ hởn đó giờ có ít tụi tin nên chỉ tao bảo để có những mua đó chỉ mua lo nếu cứ giờ ít kho hay thì sai tận đây nó nếu cứ mua tao đi trả cho có chỉ khó nói khó bé thả cho nên chia thì cho nên cú giờ nếu trong đi trả bé mua xí trong đi trả cho tin nên cú chỉ mua nên kia ấy là họ đào xứ là họ xả qua thì là cú chỉ gì qua là cú mua thì gì để xí qua đi cú hai mua ở họ này shit này bao tàu hạt địa thầu ya tia thế chỉ ya tia ya trong lịch cha ya tụi tin hình đó chỉ matter ya thì nhiều charge cái nhẹ chỉ charge cái nhẹ nè okay nhiều hành vi là nhóm đó nhiều để shit bây giờ hay cho lúc suy chỉ chân là chỉ chân là yêu gì lúc chú suy chỉ k là chỉ k thì ý chấp lời họ ya bao nữa bắt ta lịch của hai ý thì giờ có lúc sẽ chỉ khi ở có một còn được ba có chuyện nó đỡ thầu lúc sẽ được ba con đỡ có chuyện nó hay thì khó trong đi trả đâu có là cú mua cho họ có lúc sẽ chỉ khi này thì người chỉ lo đâu có đi trả xin đỡแต่xin đi lo đâu có màแต่xin có chuyện nó xứ ok thì đi ba đâu cóแต่xin có chuyện bao xứ nhà thì có lúc sẽ chỉ đâu khi ý là họ nó ở thì do có lúc sẽ khi ta ra có lúc sẽ hay giờ có hai đứa con thì có chỉ khi là có lúc sẽ khi cho họ có tốn cả là có tốn cả cái ba thì có lúc sẽ khi nữa thì mà nó chỉ có bao hạt thì từ tín nên đỡ yên ba do hạt tía tụi tin nở uo thì tia thì họ nở uo nó chỉ có yên nó họ chờ nở có lú cha lú chị có yên nó có lú chị xó ý chị xó vào có yên nó có lú ý chị xó xó là có yên nó họ chờ either lú thầu lú xí hành đó là do thầu đua lú xí hành đó ta chỉ có yên nó này họ có bao tàu kia nó có tụi kia để do tụi tin nên nó bá của thiên lý chờ của thiên lý mua khó rồi nó after hạt tiền là sẽ ý week yeah chị giờ thì thôi yêu week all week nữa con nó họ chơi có bố thì họ chơi thì nó có lúc sẽ khi có thể liền nóแต่是có lúc sẽ khi chị chơi tụi nên là ba con đồng bộ đi chạy theo thứ thứ qua họ được cho con lo có yên chừng hay thì ô sao bây giờ lên đó cho họ có chỉ khi thôi lúc sẽ hành đó ok so nếu mua ở nhà nó họ dùng chấp lời giờ có sầu khi có lúc sẽ theo một họ kiến tranh nữa có tụi khen ổn định chấp lời có những tranh ý linh ý tu có những một trâu còn được ba có thế còn được khó có ok chỉ mà ra thì nữa hung gì là chỉ hung gì tê tu nữa chỉ hung gì là những khó tàu thiaแต่是tê đó thì nữa khó chỉ tàu rong bầu là chỗ khó tàu mình chỉ là ba có mình chỉ có nhớ ok ok tê đó thì nữa hung gì是些但是nữa khó nên tàu hành对着那红的是些，但是你看知道一下几天，也可能过要考过了，帮了二考的个孩子，一这个可以学这个拿个包的对那八个的点，而这个只可以学这个技能，对那这八个个技能，这个可以学这个呢，个只可以了，对那八个不的个应用起，到还点你八个天。giờ thì có khi share em ba có thế gì khó nói khó thì bé rong chập rồi ok thế giờ ô hô lựa rong chập rồi có lúc này giờ có muốn thiệt tụ seafood là giờ có muốn thiệt cái ba sư là những trong này nó sau nữa nó bé thả ra nên chia đua tòn đây nó đi chỉ cố ya hai chỗ này khi này lúc share thiệt 但是政法贴做这个还得都顶能的，你去包的你我那去，但是你我连和你个人来要你杀我数，来要你杀害数，的要去 work， 要的要去 work， 的你导引导的好，的。It's going to be a hard time and then chỉ có giống một chỗ ít lên rồi vậy cái sự nhân lần đầu là chỉ tới rồi họ rồi chỉ có giờ có sao có để ở bố里cũng một chỗ cũng nó hay thì họ cũng share luôn chứ để thầu có cái share là giờ cũng chỉ khi là cũng tôi nó thế nhở một cái nên cũng chỉ là giờ chỉ lấy chỉ khi share thì thầu số thơ nữa lấy very close a little hard cái日常ta lên thầu cũng thả ta chỉ lúc share khi lù thì là lúc xe tàu vì hạt tiền cho lù bé hải nó những lòng đồn đủ thế tiền đủ những dài rồi bé hải thế tiền bé thế li hải tàu chỉ là bé là tàu là xã hải chỉ là cũ là tàu là xã khi là xã khoác kia còn này ít khó tông cả họ bé luôn nâng thế li tàu khi cho lù nó rồi bé cho lên số tù thế li một họ kếเข้าใจý là ý tù là do tiền chỉ cho một họ kế city là do tờ trả hay tiền có hay chỉ do cụ thể là hay do sư ý tôi hay chỉ do là là có một là sai là cho ni chẳng gây lu đây rồi ni e piece of a puzzle sư yo one piece of the puzzle right thì ni e piece of a puzzle thì ni thế là có một khó nó làm gì gì ni thế thọ tao họ ý tu ya ni hai ni ý ya nó do ni cứ dừng hai sư chỉ có những bao tiền ô còn này ni họ opinion ni họ preference sư yo thì ya giờ ni xí mù là ni chỗ họ tao họ được mấy percent sư ni 我知道 percent đâu okay thì họ nói họ ở YouTube kênh ya thôi yung muốn thiệt tự nhiên nên chỉ hay là muốn thiệt tự nhiên sai hay là những dòng linh đầu tiên thì họ nói cũng mất hành nó sư alright so right now I'm going to go into questions I see some questions here and so I'm taking questions now. If you guys want to ask any, Melissa Moore says, "How do you know if you have new or old?" So Melissa, I want to respond to Melissa Moore if you're still on. So how do you know if you have new or old? There's going to be different messages or how do I say this? Hints, different hints on what you're drawn to. Okay, Melissa. You can be drawn to different colors or not colors at all in regards to lutiho or different which is the tools that you're going to be using. You could be drawn to different sifus as you watch this one or watch that one, hear this one, hear that one. You're going to be drawn to how they conceptualize how they explain it. Do you understand it fully or do you kind of understand? Or is this person's attitude or character behavior similar to what you are drawn to, right? Similar to your own. And do they have new or do they have old, right? And these things, the new and the old, can shift, can change as you go through your journey. Okay, Melissa? So that's a little bit on new and old. There's more things to know and different hints to tell. But how can I say this? The very first thing that you can tell is if, let's say, the new ones, okay, most of them, if you were to put yourself in the healer's shoes, would you want to do that? And if the answer is no, then you probably will have more new spirit guides or the new type of guides or new downloads than the old ones. Okay. Some of us will have some old ones with us, and you will know later on when you begin your journey. Okay. Firekeeper Medicine says, this shamanist speaks a lot of truth. I am European shaman and have learned from her videos. Many thanks to her. Warm blessings, Firekeeper Medicine. Warm blessings to you for giving me that support. And for all of you that are out there listening right now, if you want to continue to say Juju Chi, I always like the Juju Chi because it's Freeing Friday. We need to free ourselves through, and I just chose Friday to do the Freeing Fridays because why? We need to unlimit our limiting beliefs. And what I talk about usually is the purpose is to unlimit your limiting beliefs. If you continue to stay in the limited beliefs, then you're going to be very much not just old ways, right? Old ways sometimes will work, and it is the thing that will work, but it's what will work, right? What will matter to you in this coming up life, right? So new is typically called this, and Firekeeper says this, new is typically called by spirit and trained by spirit, often having new downloads or techniques to use in a more modern fashion. Yes, that is true, because the new ways or new age healers and shamans are typically called by spirit or chosen by spirit and trained by spirit. And that's if you are it also comes with the criteria of being able to open up your heart to that, depending on what percentage that you are opened for that, or can you carry that? And sometimes you can unconsciously know about that, but to consciously know that people don't know that, that they can either be taught by spirit only, or do they need a sifu? Do they need a teacher, right? And most often people will have to start from the ones that are taught by spirit guides will start from, the beginning or the root of how to even begin the whole journey, because they are actually, going to be taught by spirit guides, right? Only. And I can know that because that's where I was, right? At the age of 2. So those downloads will come in a certain way. If you also need a teacher out here, you will know, because then it's like your antenna is not connected so greatly. So then you will need a teacher to teach you, and you will also need to basically have mentors, different mentors from wherever that may be. I also would say that if you do get mentored and without really consciously knowing it, or if somebody doesn't know it, it's always good to acknowledge it, because then the acknowledgement actually brings in this humbleness from you to the universe, and it will open up different doors for you as you acknowledge and be very compassionate towards that. Okay. Let me know, Juju Chi, if you guys are enjoying this live on this Freeing Friday and limiting your limiting beliefs. I will link down below some of the things that we talked about on my videos that I had. Juju Chi to Jade Cutie, warm blessings, and thank you guys for subscribing and liking. For those of you that has not subscribed but is following me right now on this live, go and subscribe and hit that button, so that I can come out with more videos as well, and I can be freed to do that. All right, Juju Chi to all of you. That just brings in kindness and compassion. And I know that most people are being humble by getting some of my lives here, some of the information that I'm downloading and sending it to you, that you are capturing right now as we speak. All right. Thank you, Melissa Moore, for hashtag what works. Yes. What's right is what works. T-Boo. Any advice on new shamans and their journeys? So DX Bang had said, any advice on new shamans and their journeys? So here's a little bit of advice for the new shamans that are arising and your journeys. You guys need to, I guess one thing that what happened when I started was let down what you have known. Okay, so everything that you've known, just let it go and observe during your meditations, and do meditations. If you're lazy to do meditations, because I plain will basically say that if you become lazy and procrastinate on your meditations, it is going to lag your spiritual journey, okay? Because it's showing to the universe that you don't care, or that it's not important and it's not priority. So your meditations need to be on point, meaning if you're going to do it like 3 days and you've committed to that 3 days, you better do the 3 days. So those are to my new shamans. Meditation is the key. I've told that since the beginning of my time of becoming a healer out there. For those of you that are still following me from till this day, and you are now, in your journey, you are now doing your journey, whether you are a disciple of someone else and you just come to me for mentorship, whatever it is, and I still call everybody my disciples that have learned from me in any way that you have, is that you need to acknowledge of where you got your information. You also need to be willing to open up yourself to meditations and stick with it. The key to your new journeys is meditation, okay? Because that's the new shamans. The old traditional way, they didn't meditate for some of them. For some of them, they did, okay? So it just kind of depends. And even psychics. Some psychics don't meditate. They just kind of download whatever it is when they're doing a reading, like tarot cards, and then that's it. They don't go back and do meditations when the door is shut, right? You have to have ethics, right, in your practice. If you don't have your ethics on point, If you don't have, this is business ethics. So business ethics means you're also helping other people and they're paying for your services. There's that. And then there's the people that, let's say you don't charge them, but you're still, putting yourself out there and wanting to help them. So then you still have to have that ethics part of you, right? You have to have integrity. When you close the door and no one sees you, you still have to have that integrity. If you don't have integrity and you're not meditating, but you still claim that you are, in your meditative mind, then that's not going to work. Or that you can do some healing that you don't practice, right? So that's not going to work. It's like saying, I can cut your hair at a salon when you haven't cut hair in like 20 years, right? So keep up with your integrity. That's the highest, 120%. You've got to put that in. You've got to have your integrity. When the doors are closed, you're still meditating. You're still doing what you need to do to get there, to be there, right? For that person that you're going to heal. The new healers practice honesty, integrity, and ethics. Okay. Needs to be there. There's no exceptions. Okay. Whether you charge or don't charge, it doesn't matter, because your ethics is your ethics, your integrity is there, your honesty is there. Humility is also a practice. If you don't feel so much for people, as in like feel, have empathy for them, then for the new shamans, I know some of you don't have empathy for anybody as you're starting your journey. For some of you, then you're going to actually start to have empathy for some people as you start your journey, because you're going to run in your path to people that are going to really need healing, that don't know where to go, and you're going to have to help them for free. Okay. You can't charge them because you have yet a debt to pay, or a debt that you are unaware of, right? For those that charge, it's like 1 out of like 100,000 people or whatever it is, that number. And this is just a number downloaded to me. 1 out of 100,000 people can charge right off the bat as you become a healer, because then you've done the work. You've been there, done that. You've had compassion. You've had kindness. You've done that. You don't have so much debt that you can charge people now for your services. But if you've had so much things, karmic things in your life, and you haven't yet touched upon that, you haven't yet alleviated that or released that, then you can't charge people, because it's going to go down real quick on that. And you're going to be, your gifts are going to be pulled to the side, and you're going to have a stoppage in your journey. Okay. So do what's right, have integrity and honesty. And that's the highest that factors for a shaman or healer, psychic medium, seer, wizard, whatever that you have, right? Whatever you want to call yourself. It is the universal gifts that come to you. If you are the new age, it is coming to you because you need it the most. And then from there, from your own healings, you will go out of your circle and heal. Depending on how you are committed, how much you are committed, right? So I hope, DXA, I hope I responded to your thing. I hope you can understand that. Key is meditation and observing, not rebelling, and not making reason with your meditations. Okay, but learning how to decipher. Okay, that will come naturally. Jade Cutie says, what do I need to know about my spiritual journey right now? So Jade Cutie, the thing is, Jade, can you accept it fully? Can you accept it, Jade Cutie? Part of you says yes, and part of you says no. So can you accept it? And can you accept learning from a Sifu? Because you actually do need one. If you have one, then there's something missing. yet with that. So I hope that makes sense to you, Jade. All right, give me a juju chi. I love the hearts, Jade. All right, if that makes sense, what you need to know right now on your spiritual journey is, can you accept your spirit guides fully? And can you accept shifting that a bit from learning it yourself to actually accepting a sifu, because you do need one to boost that journey up, because it's been quite a ride. Tivu says, do all New Age shamans wear white? No, not all New Age shamans will wear white, but Tivu, most New Age shamans are going to be prone to wear white. Most of them will be wearing white, okay? But they are not going to, but some of them are not the white shaman, or they are not the ones that wear white. They have different colors. It's just that you can see the white ones. Most people relate the white, the new shamans that wear white, the New Age shamans that wear white, they relate that to automatically in their heads, oh, Ningxia, okay? Because in the past, the white ones, the all white New Age shamans never really appeared out. It was like one-offs that appeared back in the 60s that they would do that. But they wouldn't wear that because it didn't come fully at that time. But now it has appeared, and most people relate that automatically in their head. They think white shaman means New Age shaman, but that's not true. There's other colors that come through, and they are also New Age shamans, okay? If you're meant to wear white clothing during Waning, does that make you a New Age too? Well, the colors are associated with not just New Age or Old Age. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. It's not the colors that associate with New Age or Old Age, but yes, it is from this age that we've seen these colors come through. So these colors has always been. Okay, but it's not the colors to differentiate that, not the colors that determine New Age or Old Age. It is how the person utilizes their gifts, and it is how you are downloading, and what you are downloading determines if you are a New Age shaman. Okay. But yes, we've seen that with more New Age shamans, Tivu. Okay, we've seen that with newer age shamans, that they wear white doing Waning or multicolored. Okay, like for example, myself, I have multicolor T-hos that I wear during Wanings, but it's what works. It's what is needed at the time. Okay, when you're in the New Age shaman, what we've seen the most is that they are very flexible. Okay, the flexibility of the New Age shamans. In the older traditional or more traditional older age shamans, as in our grandparents and their grandparents, is we've seen them very in one colored or two colors, and it's not flexible. Restrictions are more, though now we still have some restrictions too for some people, for some. And that can also be with European shamans too. If you guys are out there listening, the Norwegian or Celtic shamans also have restrictions, okay? And they are also seen differently now from what they've seen back then. Though back then, though they stopped, there was a stoppage for a long period of time before they went back for most of them. And now they're coming back so much and vigorously too, for any culture shamans, right? And what they're seeing now is the same thing as what we see in the Hmong community, is that the Hmong shamans and other shamans are so relative that these ancient shamanic gifts are coming back to the children now. And I call them children because we are the new generations compared to the generations that we've seen in ancient, years ago. So their energy, their the spirit guidance from then is also reincarnated or shifted and is coming back in now. Why do Anna Moore says, why do some spiritual guides take a long time to come down and some come down sooner? Anna Moore. Okay, so I want to comment on Anna's question. Some spiritual guides come quicker because of the person and what they've been through in their lives and how they can accept their guides. Some guides, and even though you're consciously saying, I accept my guides, I really accept my guides right now, but there's something inside of you that isn't really ready yet, or there's still a biasness about you that isn't ready to accept. If they were to come down right now, it would be, I don't know what I should do. I don't know if I should do this because it's so different to me. So your mindset is not there yet. What I do is I help people get there, okay, to unlimit that, just like this talk on that we're doing right now, this chat. So Anna, to answer that question, some come down fast and some come down, it takes longer, depending on the person, okay, depending on the person and their mindset. So you can't force that sometimes, all right, but it's better to try to get there. Okay, if you can get there, then it will happen. If you can't get there sooner, then it's going to be a journey yet before you can get there, as in when the guides can come down and teach you. For some, it may not be the guides teaching you fully, but it's gonna be like a radio instead of a TV, so you won't see them, but you can hear them, right? And then for some, it's a TV and not a radio. And then for others, it's just like a screen, right? You can't hear, you can't see, but it's just like how do I say, a screen, a TV screen, and then rather than a computer screen, or a TV rather than a computer. So it's a little bit different in technology or downloads. Okay. And some are fed to you, and then some you've got to reach out and get it. The reaching out and getting is going to be a bit tougher because you're kind of forcing it to happen. It's better if it comes in naturally by itself. Juju Chi to all of you. Pahua Wang says, why is it that the old age shaman has more restrictions than the new age shaman? Well, Pahua, times have changed, right? So we have known those times that there was these one times, just a story here, times back in the old country, we call it the old country, right? In the Hmong community, in Hmong. There was a war times, right? The Cold War. The wars was happening very physically. There was bullets running everywhere. There was, shotguns. There was people dying at any time, anywhere. And so in those times, even those times, I'm not even going back way back, but just in that time, like 70s, 60s, and even in the 50s, there was this, and back when it was Pataibu, when they had Tavu, they call it Otavu, or the war, the crazy war, right? Those times was different from even today, right? We live in a little bit different society. And in those society, back in the villages, back in the mountains, and even in the mountains themselves, right? Energy was different. Everything was different. Therefore, the restrictions had to be different. And that also goes into another conversation of which guides do you have? And per those guides and the guidance that they gave and what was happening per those times dictates the restrictions. Okay. So why is it so different? It is the times, it is the person, it is the spirit guides that came down then that brought those restrictions. And there was different, for example, right now, there could be a restriction of don't eat pork, right? Don't eat pork. And if you eat pork, then this, you can't do this certain type of ritual, or you can't do this, or there's a reason why you don't eat pork.
So there's a deeper reason into that I won't go into, but let's say if you ate pork and you were to do your konings and your koning said, no, you can't eat pork, then for example, if you did it, then you would probably lose a certain gift because you didn't do what the restriction was. Also, there is something with the pork, right? In this day and age, like for example, steroids or whatnot, right? In the meat itself, or chicken, or whatever else, right? That you shouldn't eat. So there's something in the underlying part of that that is actually the cause of why you shouldn't eat it, so that you can also be healthy, so that you don't get this one, steroid, or they call it the chemicals, right? That goes into that pork and then into you, right? So, and then there's something with the animal itself as well, right? So that's the real reason why there's these restrictions. And the restrictions are there. And most of the times people don't get it, why they're getting restricted for that thing. But there's something in the underlying that you better trust. If you don't trust that, then you will see. Okay? Which is not a good thing, and it's not your spirit guides that is going to put that to you, or say, okay, yabi lino kateli mo from your spirit guides. It's not from your spirit guides, really. It's from something else that is negative, that is connected with the pork, or connected with eating that pork, whether it's physically, health-wise, or spiritually. Okay, so Moa says, how do you know if your guides are trying to communicate with you? So Moa, you will know. There's no special thing in that. You will know that your guides are communicating with you, and it will come through. If it's like a TV set, right? If it's like the antenna that is connected, you will know. Or if it's like this feeling of I just know, you will know, because it's different. It's gonna feel different than what you typically like daily life type of instances, different from intuition, right? So if guides are talking to you, it's different from intuition. Anna Moore says, so true. All right. So PY says, can you help with dream interpretation? First dream, I watched my aunt who is a shaman Wanning. Second dream is also I watched Wanning, but I started to shake and had Juning on my fingers shaking. So Juju Chi PY. First dream and second dream is very similar. Your aunt doing Ning. So this is about you watching someone else doing a healing. Also, in the second dream, you are shaking with your with Junengs, right? So PY, I don't know if you've gone on your spiritual journey, but you definitely will have a spiritual journey to go on to. And PY, you're gonna have to be willing to and there's something with your aunt that is connected to helping you as well. She may be a mentor of yours, okay? But not to say that it's limited to her as well. Okay, so at one point in time in the future, there is going to be you doing Ning. Okay, so open up your heart to that, PY. Okay, and also acknowledge the people, whoever it is that you come across that help you, and whether it's now or in the future. And that's to everybody. Okay, those that have helped you, those that you have realized and had crazy realizations during or before your journey, during your journey, or after your journey, or there's never going to be an after, that's like afterlife. So if you are on a journey, you're going to be on the journey for the rest of your life, unless you really stop and just totally go somewhere else. But you're still going to be on that journey, because you're going to go back to square one on really where the root came. Okay. You're welcome, PY. EY says, are there any blockages, work I need to do or focus on to improve my spiritual journey at the moment? EY, yes. I'm just going to pull a card for you, EY. Gosh, I got to get these cards going. My head is everywhere, guys. But I love this topic, and this is my passion. This is my calling. I have no escape from this. So my heart goes out to all of you that are starting your journeys. And I'm loving all of you that are supporting me. And love goes out to all of you that subscribe to my channel, because you guys don't know it, but you're making it possible for me to do it more freely for you guys. And those of you that have donated to me, whether it's a couple dollars or whatever, you can donate here on the live chat if you'd like. It's palaichi@gmail.com. Okay. Donate if you guys are liking this. I didn't even put it in there because my head is far from money than anything else. But you can donate to palaichi@gmail.com. I suppose I should say that. But I will appreciate that. My guides will also as well. We don't care if it's just like, $10, $20, whatever it is that you can give. That I'm on this live chat today and giving you guys certain responses to this, your journeys as well. The more that you guys are willing to do that, the more that I'm going to be able to come out here and just teach and just chat with you guys and give you guys pointers on your spirit journey. Okay. Also, thank you so much to those that have donated to me $20 a month. You guys been doing that. Thank you so much. Warm blessings. And then also I want to announce today that I have a store that I'll be opening very soon here. And it's a spiritual store, spiritual gifts store that's going to help you guys on your journey. Okay. So all items in that store has been blessed and energized. And it's handpicked by myself because I know it's going to help everybody else that is young and is still uprising as shamans. Also, it's going to help the ones that has been practicing shamanism or healing for the last whatever decades that you've been practicing, and you just need this uplift. My items are made for the healer and for the psychic medium or for the person that has special gifts. And the person that wants to have special gifts but can't tap into it because you're still very new to this and your mindset is not quite there yet. So I know how that feels. Okay. Warm blessings to all of you. And I want to pull this card for, I think it was, get my head together here. So what to do for the blockages? Are there any blockages? EY. Okay, so what work or blockages I need to do or focus on to improve my spiritual journey at the moment. So I'm going to pull up a card for that, EY. And let's just see here, okay? So if you're listening, take a slow, deep breath for me, all of you that are listening right now and on the chat. I also thank you guys for being on the chat. I am blessed to have you guys here, and I know that. All right, here we go. For EY. So EY, you've gotten a 5 of clover. At this moment, EY, there's going to be some changes that is going to be happening, whether you like it or not. It's going to help you to improve your spiritual journey at the moment, EY. And also the blockages that you need to work on. What you can do is, I know that you don't meditate as much, so you'll need to commit to that, EY. And that's going to be the start of your improving cycle, okay? Is to at least meditate five days a week, 15 to 20 minutes per day, all right? More Lee says, what does it mean when I always dream about different sugga, even when it is not my own? More Lee, I don't know about you, but right off the bat, I'm getting the thing about you having or changing up your sugga. If you don't have one, you're going to need one for you and your family, even if it's just yourself. you do need one. And there's something there in regards to the suka or the that needs you to pay attention. Okay. Molly, I got this for you. This also is a message from your ancestral roots that you definitely will need to connect back with your ancestral roots. And let's say for your parents or grandparents, connecting back to them to and probably helping to for them. Okay, so you can definitely message me on that more, Lee, if you want to know more of how that's going to work for you or how you can do that. All right. Free consultation, obviously it's going to be in the link down below or also on the channel as well. If you guys go to about on my channel, then you'll see the link to the making an appointment with me. Zeha says Nyajong, and it says Nyajong Zeha, warm blessings to you. Okay, I'm going to be going off in a bit here, you guys, but warm blessings for coming in. Share the video to people that you know that needs it. You know what's correct, and you know what I've talked about that is correct. What's correct is what works, and that's the whole kind of like the law of the universe, right? That is the law of the universe. Whether you like it or not, it is what is. And whether you argue with it or have an opinion, it doesn't even matter. It is what is. Okay. Warm blessings to all of you. Christy Bang says, is my seafood near or far? Male or female? Christy Bang, all I want to say right now is you need to be willing to search for one and talk to one. Okay. They need, you're going to be searching for some, a seafood. I can see, Christy, that your seafood is a female, but it's going to be a female that has characteristics like you. That's very general. Okay. It has, the person has characteristics similar to yours. And you're going to have a feeling when you either watch them or when you do a reading with them or they do a reading for you, you're going to have a feeling, a very closeness feeling of, oh my gosh, they can open up things for me. And guys, how to decipher if a sifu is correct for you is look up what do you feel that? Do you feel that they've changed something within your mindset, and or could they have healed you in some way, right? And does it and do you feel this deep inner connection with this person, right? They might just be a mentor, that's okay, but then can they be your seafood? Okay. Or can they be someone that helps you along the way, and then you actually go and find the seafood, or you actually go and open up yourself to your spirit guides, right? Can they take you to that door? Can they open the doors? Okay. If you guys read on my description, kuya itu nia neng call ki tia shaya. So I open the doors. I help to connect you to your spirit guides if you can't, or if it's staticky, right? I also help you to awaken to life as in the physical paradigm that we are in, to the spiritual paradigm, and to understand what is correct and not correct, or to be informed correctly, because we have so much corruption within this lifetime. So that's my purpose here. But Christy, to answer your question, it is female. Sifu near or far, that's going to just depend on, it can be far, as in not local. Okay. It can be not local. However, that is still up to your willpower and your freedom of, what is it? Forgot the name. Your free will. Okay. How soon should I take to find a seafood? HL, it's going to take you a bit of time. I found out that my guide is sharing my body with me and I'm making. So HL, that can be, but they don't share your body fully like that. That's not how it works. I'm not sure who told you that, but that's I don't see them sharing your body, but yes, they are close by. However, it's like a download that is happening. That's why your body's aching, actually. So I hope that answered your question. Um, Thank you, GH, for donating warm blessings to you. Okay, I appreciate that. That will go towards my quality healing projects in the future. More Lee says, thank you so much. Warm blessings, more. And the more that you guys can share this out there, whether it's in whatever groups, I don't mind. It's whatever that is going that you feel that is necessary to share to. And honestly, if it's going to cause negativity, don't share it either, right? Because people are not open, but it also helps to share because then it's unlimiting their beliefs and it's going to get them to the next level, whether they are right now they're jealous and envious, but it's going to get them to the next level. Like I had spoken about people that had talked about, way back 20, 30 years ago, they talked about, oh, Yaneng Chia, the ones that were white, right? Because that's all they can associate with the ones that were white, is the new shamans or new age shaman. And they talked about those and they were like whispering about them and they don't believe them and they could do something bad or are they evil in disguise? And there's all this talk about that. But what do we see most today, right? Is shamans with colorful garments or headpieces. Shamans, the ones that were talking back then, are now the ones wearing different headpieces. It's just so interesting, right? So we want to be open to things, but also decipher is the key. That the way to decipher is through your meditation. Key number one. Key number two is learning how to decipher. And with me just being able to come out here and just let you guys know all this information and just download it to you guys is awesome. I feel very good about it. I feel that it's going to get us to the heightened where we as a human race need to get heightened up. And if whatever you guys can do to help me, support me with that, I'm all in for it. Come back, subscribe, and click on the bell so that you guys can hear it when I'm out here doing my lives, because I'll just come out on one-off Fridays, doing my freeing Fridays, and to answer any questions that you guys want to get answered. It doesn't even matter. Whatever is downloaded, I will let you know. And pull out cards, right? And my other ones, I've always pulled out so many cards, but this time I think we talked a lot about shamanism, a lot about the ones that are arising and that are not afraid to ask me the question on the chat. Also, ones that are not afraid to share this to your Facebook or to your whatever groups, and to also support me in all I do, because what I do is for humanity. And I do charge fees when I do my healings, because it is an exchange. If you understand about exchanges of energy and 10 times what your exchange is, then you can understand where I'm coming from. Also, someone had a question in regards to debt. So, it's SAVAI says, hello, you mentioned owing a debt earlier. Do you think that owing something, being owed, keep us tethered here, right? Or and then be well. So yes, owing a debt or owing debts, whether it's to a person, to a certain spirit type guide, or to spiritual, it's a spiritual burden, it's a spiritual karmic debt for different past lives that you have lived. This can be a debt to anything like that, right? And these are just a very few debt that needs to be owed examples, right? So owing something does, and she uses, or he uses I uses, keeps us tethered here, right? So yeah, it how can I say this? It holds you back if you still owe debts. That's why I do karma and trauma releases for people, because they don't really know where the debt was, right? Or where that karmic or trauma happened to them. They don't remember, it's been blocked, whether it's in this lifetime or they are not aware of it in different lifetimes. So then I go in and I travel through this time, right, to go and check and see in those times how what happened during the situation, right, and to release the debt, release the karma. So then you're paying debts. So then when you pay these debts, whether you pay it through whatever means you do, right, then you are alleviated, and it just keeps going, and then alleviation happens, and then you are kind of debt free or not as indebted anymore to something or someone. So that's why I said acknowledge, so that you also can release that, right, to the universe, showing your humility, showing that you are also have integrity, you have ethics, you're honest, whether someone's looking or not looking, you're still doing what you need to do. Yes, people will lie. Everybody does, right? But if you're doing it for the good cause, then you are not going to be indebted. If you are doing it for a bad cause or a negative cause, then of course you will be. So then, and the tag comes in unconsciously. Okay. So owing keeps you tethered. Yes. Owing, and it's not to say that you don't want it to owe anybody anything. So for example, don't get me wrong. For example, you live with your parents, you're over the age of 18, and your parents are giving you money to buy a car. Don't think of it as if you accept their money to buy the car, then you're going to be indebted to them. You were already indebted to them, right? Even if they just spoke a good word to you, even if they that is already something that they were willing to give you, and you should be humble enough to just give back, right? But that's not a debt. That's not being indebted to your parents. Yes, your parents helped you, saved you, whatever it is that they helped grab you from this danger or this negativity, or helped you finance your car, right? Or your living situation. It's not that you are indebted to them, right? That you have this debt that you owe them, but it is that it's from your heart that you should be willing to just give back, right? To them or whoever else. That's not the debt that I'm talking about. A debt means how can I say? One example could be that you did something on a negative connotation. So a very mischievous person, let's say, for example, a very mischievous person stole an item from, let's say, itu nya jijong, right? Pneumonia kong the new Nepal. So in English, a daughter-in-law that lives with your mother and father-in-law, and you went to steal this piece of item. It wasn't even important, right? Or it could be like $1,000, whatever it is. And you stole this money from your mother or father-in-law. Now, that was a faulty type of action, but are you indebted now? Right? Because it was negative. And you had the mischievous intention. So then now you have a debt that you're going to have to pay, right? Because it was faulty. So that's the debt that I'm talking about. Okay. But if the other one, so let's go back to the first one. If your father or mother gave you like $5,000 to go buy a used car and they financed that car for you, you are not indebted to them. However, you should be humble enough to just give back, right? Because you didn't do anything faulty. They were willing to give it to you. Just like here, me, I'm willing to give you the information, but you should be humble enough if you wanted to donate, right? So that's up to you, or to even subscribe, right? To even click that button. Some people will be, oh, I'm not going to click the button, right? But you should be willing to click the button to, show that you are humble enough to give back in some way, if that's a give back action, right? With the other debt, that's a faulty action. So then you will be indebted. to pay that debt back, right? Because you did something that was wronged. You wronged a person. And therefore, it's going to be something that you carry with you, a guilt feeling that you carry with you, that you're gonna have to clear your conscience at one point in time in the future. Okay. Or this karma might follow you, and then someone else, let's say in later on when you get older and you become a Nepal, right? And your nya does the same thing to you. So that could happen as well. And we've seen stories about that, right? So that could also happen too. So these are just examples of being indebted to someone or not indebted. So that's all I want to say for today. I'm going to be going now because my time is over. But you guys go out there, follow me on Facebook at Master Shaman Palai Chi. Just type Master Shaman Palai Chi in one word and you'll find me. You can also go out there, subscribe, and hit that bell when I come out. You guys can come in, and if you want to ask questions, I'll be happy to answer as much as I can. And we'll just talk more on this topic, so that you guys can just elevate yourselves. If you have a sifu or if you don't have a sifu, it doesn't even matter at this point because we need to get going here, guys. All right. Warm blessings from Master Shaman Palai Chi. Bye-bye.